啊，热死了！哎嘿，hello，然后来继续啦。6日过去了，跟喵玩的时间也过去了，要等下一次了。我们之前就是我们在那个博德之门就是结束实况之后，我们有跟喵讨论一下，发现那个还蛮烧脑的。对，那个我们就提议说，我们还是玩一些是不是爽快感的游戏好了。所以到时候这段几点，我再跟喵讨论一下要玩什么。好，那我们来继续啦。上一次实况是什么？我忘记了。是把那个水晶自治领地区是不是解完了不然我们就这个是之后的剧情，我有点忘记了。好，没关系，反正我们就先解支线，我们先把那些宝石先交给玛莎跟伊莎贝尔。玛莎跟伊莎贝尔哪里啊？怎么这么多任务啊？玛莎是谁？伊莎贝尔是谁啊？卡隆、玛莎跟伊莎贝尔是谁啊？啊，这里啊我想起来玛莎啊，这两个没办法去啊，好吧，那算了。而且现在接了好像也没有用哦，因为可能要传送什么之类的。然后我们先来继续好了。克罗吉特回音，我们先去主线。叫他弟也要跟着来嘛。他的侍从呢？他的随从呢？说错，应该是说随从。哇，这3个人哇，4个人一起战斗哎！光明与黑暗。
It's like a dream. The 4 of us out walking like we used to.
Enjoying this, are you? Gav and the others could be in danger as we speak.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yote is a fine scout. If Kandor was attacked, she will already have begun gathering information.
Tabor isn't far. We should pick up the pace.
你好像不远哎。刚刚他弟有作为吗？其实说真的，路上那个亮亮的啊，都没什么好东西，都是一些烂的，不太想找。
Assuming they will allow it, the echoes have a will of their own.
Over here! Go,
Tell us about Yote, Joshua.
She's strong-willed, loyal, and deadly with a blade. Much like Clive, but with better manners.
这女的到底是好的还是坏的啊？哎，有任务哎，那不就是要解的意思吗？应该这附近就应该就可以解了吧？看一下看一下，他不会是要我给他药吧？
You're injured. What happened here? Where are your comrades?
Ether flood up ahead. It swallowed our camp while we slept. My own men did this. Turned every last one of them. There's a village not far from here. Tabor. The people were kind to us. It's only a matter of time before they won't stand.
哎，那不就是他们的村吗？我们要去的村落哎。
We can't let those monsters reach the.
他就这样去了，过来我要帮他解决事情。哎，没有，
Thank you.
我以为他挂了。
Our encampment is up ahead.
哎，真的那边已经变以太沉淀区了。
They must not reach Tabor. Forgive me, Lord Kuka.
Rest well, soldier.
凤凰啊，不行，不要再处理他，要不然他弟弟会 GG。还活着吗？
You said the encampment was close. Let's hope the Akashic are still there.
死掉我还帮他做事了，那有宝物吗？那会有那个吗？会有？他会给我东西吗？
Ether flood. They're everywhere now.
We can't go around it.
Then we'll just have to be careful.
Right. Got here in time.
啊，怎么阿卡夏问刀兵啊？他们不是变身吗？没有变呢，还是人的样子哎。
Someone there! Please, I can't move my leg! That doesn't sound like an Akashic. You're with the battalion?
I am. I heard the fighting. Are the others?
Taken care of. One of your brothers in arms told me what happened and asked for help.
Another survivor? Where is he? Tell me.
His wounds were too deep.
was right to send you. Those things you slew are no longer my brothers. Tabor is safe thanks to you. Here,
哦，有了，终于，我以为没人会给。
You seem familiar. Have we met?
You must have me confused with someone else.
Wait. That scar. Son of a whore.
You're Sid. I was there in Cosnes when you killed my brothers. I was there in Rosalith when you killed my commander. My war with Hugo Kupka is over. I bear no ill will toward those who followed him. And what of my ill will?
啊？
Coward! Draw your steel. Lord Kupka shall be avenged! When your wounds have healed and your head has cooled, come and find me if you must. Though I hazard your life would be better spent in service of those who need it. Or have you forgotten your oath to the Republic? My oath? What would you know of oaths? I know how hard they are to keep. Which is why I'm giving you the chance to keep yours. No. I won't be deceived. Lord Kupka told us of your crimes. You are an outlaw. A murderer, not some man like you or anyone else. I am nothing like you. But if you're not gonna kill me, then go. Leave! Just know that I will find you, Sid. Someday.
哎，吴哥是个坏蛋，居然还有人这么想要替他报仇哦！嗯，哎，垃圾，不想去找了。都要被风给吹死了。哎，结果不是那个，结果我以为是我们要到城镇，哇，没事就好。
We're nearly there.
Have you been to Tabor before?
There are a few places I haven't.
我还以为会触发剧情呢。
Where now, Joshua?
There is a residence just inside the city gates. She awaits us within.
啊？哪里呀、
My Lord Marquis, it is an honor.
那谁啊？
I am Yote, Knight of the Undying, charged with the protection of His Grace Joshua Rosfield, Keeper of the Flame of the Phoenix.
Of course. It all makes sense now.
啊？
Would you care to elaborate?
The Undying are loyal servants to the ducal throne. Or more specifically, to its heir. They have served our family for generations, albeit from the shadows.
Since their inception, they have been tasked with the preservation and enactment of the rites of ancestral communion. After the events at Phoenix Gate, it was the Undying who delivered me to safety. And since the day I left Reserve, Yotei has been my constant companion and protector. Without her sword, I would not have survived my journey across the realm.
Rise, Lady Yotei. You saved my brother. I owe you a debt I can never repay.
I but did my duty.
Come now. Tell us what you've discovered.
Your Grace. It is as you feared. The vessel we spied off the coast of the Crystalline Dominion on the night of her fall. It was the Einherjar.
恩赫里亚什么？恩赫里亚什么？
The Black Galleon.
Joshua, the Einherjar is the Royalists' flagship. What business would they have in the Dominion?
Upon learning of Waloed's involvement in recent events at Drake's Fang, I sensed the malign influence of Ultima, and bid Yotei and the Undying look into the matter.
We have reason to believe that the Black Galleon weighed anchor shortly after the fighting began, and set a course due south.
For Canva. Then it is Waloeda Knights who besiege the cities.
What is left of them, yes. And the Black Galleon sails at but one man's behest. Barnabas Tharm.
But are we truly safe here in the Agora?
The city guard have been paid, if that's what you're implying.
All the more reason for them to run.
Well, you are free to leave, Lord Minister.
Markets abandoned, warehouses aflame, blackened hulls choking every port in the capital. Canva is ruined.
The realm teeters on the brink of chaos, and all you can think about is commerce.
Forgive us. We were not aware Dhalmekia now subsisted on charity.
How dare you?
What the hell？ 这个家伙
Distinguished members of the council, you must forgive His Majesty this intrusion.
What is the meaning of this?
A trifle crowded, but I fear it will have to serve, my liege.
Very well.
My colleagues, do you not see? The king, he has come to save us from the Akashic. He is a gift from the heavens, divine intervention, our very salvation.
And of course, if it is compensation he requires, we would be most willing to negotiate a fair price for services rendered.
Fools. Your ignorance unbecomes you.
Your Majesty, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would swear that the fiends washing the cobbles of Canva with the blood of her citizens wear the colors of Waloed. Ha! So you do not deny it. Guards, fetter them, and see our guests to the dungeons!
Enough.
Whoa！ 全部一起死了。
Pathetic creatures. That you
should imagine yourselves worthy of salvation. The girl is still here, somewhere in the city, her consciousness fair dripping with her late father's hubris. A consciousness to which Mythos is inextricably bound.
谁啊？他的意念。
See that he is made welcome.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Come, Mythos. Surely the prince's light cannot have sated you.
没关系，之后你的力量也会为我所用的。
So then, how long has Waloed been under Ultima's control?
How long indeed? Based on what we know of Barnabas's actions, I would guess some few years, mayhap more.
But to what end? What does Ultima want?
The tapestry. Show them.
这个女的真的很严正。
By the flames.
Phoenix Gate, Drake's Breath, and now here. But what is it?
It is old, ancient, even. Naught remains of the faith it represents, save what can be gleaned from the image itself. None could tell me what the one in the apothecary meant, even the Undying. But I believe it may be the key to discerning Ultima's purpose. That figure in the center, the one beneath whom the icons congregate, that I believe to be Ultima. He is a god, or at least godlike. His very existence beyond our ken. The icons, and by extension their dominance, are meant to be his subjects, and while some, like Barnabas, have accepted this role, others have rejected it, like you, Clive, which is rather inconvenient, as it appears he needs you most of all. And gods don't like to be disobeyed.
No, I don't suppose they do.
Clive, may I tell Yotei of the lake?
By all means.
Yotei, I will be accompanying my brother to the Free Cities. Whilst we are afield, I would have you watch over those Clive has made his wards. Omielos delan tuisag ilith. Though well concealed, the hideaway lacks trained fighters to defend its occupants should they be discovered.
But it is my duty to...
As it has ever been my brother's duty, remember.
If that is your wish, Your Grace. But please be safe. If aught were to befall you, I...
我喜欢你。
My word.
嗯。
Farewell, my lord, my lady.
We are in your debt, Yotei.
哇，好像被抛弃的感觉哦，他一定很伤心。他希望他不要意气用事，
Let's find our friends.
希望他不会有事。拜托，我不想让女生出事了。
and she cares for you very deeply.
And I her, which is why I had to let her go.
我可以动了吗？我可以去解支线了吗？可以了，我们先去，靠呀！啊，跑错地方了。我们先回个任务，我们再把任务全部解一解。今天应该就玩一下下吧，要不然其实我有点累了。
Nothing like a little unrest.
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
Those things I said before.
Milady, I come bearing gifts.
Gifts? Whatever is the occasion. Oh my. Clive, you really have outdone yourself.
Otto asked me to give it to you. To settle the Hideaway's debt with the Veil. And to compensate you for the time it took us to do so.
You disappoint me, Clive. I thought you might finally give to me. Tell Otto he can keep his baubles. I tried to tell him as much the first time around. The man owes me nothing, nor does the Hideaway. My contribution to the restoration effort was made freely and willingly. It was the least I could do.
You once told me Sid did you a kindness. I'd like to do the same. Please, accept it. For my sake. And for Otto's. For all of us. For all you've done.
It is rather fetching, isn't it? Very well. Otto is lucky to have you, Clive. I doubt anything could ever replace his son. But you and the others at the Hideaway are the closest thing he has to family.
Otto had a son.
Long ago, yes. Sid told me Otto lost him when he was just a boy, and blamed himself for not being able to stop it. I don't know how it happened, whether there was anything he could have done, but it was clear that it weighed heavily on him.
I didn't know.
How could you have? I doubt anyone did. Besides Sid, I've never met a man more keen to bear his sorrows in stoic silence. An ill habit, given that both have always been surrounded by friends desperate to help them.
I'm beginning to see that.
等一下，奥托是谁啊？我早就忘光了。这里没任务。奥托是谁？
Clive, we weren't expecting you.
I wasn't expecting to be here, but it seems we still owe you a considerable amount of coin for your help with our rebuilding efforts. And though I doubt it's what you were expecting, we were hoping you'd take this as payment.
啊，我想起来了，奥托不就是管事的那个人吗？
A star ruby.
就是处理寓意基地里面大小事的人。
Twice what you owe me. More if you can find yourself the right buyer.
Think of the difference as interest.
Interest? If word got out I charged that much, no one would ever borrow from me again. Anyway, Why are you the one here asking me about this? I'd have expected Otto. Bit much sending the Lord Marquis out to settle your debts, isn't it? The old goat working himself to death again?
Something like that. Most days I think he's the only reason the hideaway's still standing.
Same as always, eh? Back when the place was nothing but a twinkle in the eye of a recently retired Lord Commander, word is he was the first one Sid reached out to. Probably knew that without his strong arm and level head, the idea would never get off the ground. Sid may have been the face of the hideaway, but Otto's always been the backbone. And when Sid passed away, we were all worried that would be the end of it. That Otto would just give up.
His death was hard on everyone. But it must have hit Otto hardest of all.
But he didn't give up, did he? Quite the opposite, in fact. If I recall, he was the one who nominated you as Sid's replacement, and rallied the rest around you. I reckon what he saw in Sid, he saw in you too. And don't we all? Doesn't hurt that you're half as stubborn and twice as handsome, neither. That, and you keep good company.
I suppose I do. Goat will want to know the stones were delivered. If he's still with us.
等一下，我传个简讯哦。好，来继续啦。幕后工程，我们先回基地回报，先把这任务先解决掉，因为基地一堆任务啊，看。
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
Are we even safe here?
Rose. Still alive, I see. So Lady Karen accepted the ruby.
Ah, about that. I tried my best, but she was just too stubborn to take it. She threw it right back in my face, in fact, and told me I could stick my stupid stone where the sun don't shine.
Karen refused payment.
I hope it wasn't something I said.
I'm sure you were as tactful as ever. Let me see what I can do.
Oh, wonderful. I hope you have better luck than I did.
啊，新战红宝石，所以我们也有欠卡戎钱要。还是他生气说不用给啦，我们也是你们秘密基地里面的一份子，而且我有占你们秘密基地一个位置，就当是租金。
Lady Karen, Goat tells me you weren't happy with our offer. Would you prefer the debt was repaid in coin?
What debt? I don't recall lending any of you lot me hard-earned gil. I may have tossed a talent or two in the Hideaway's coffers, but those were donations. And you can hardly call it charity if you go asking for it back.
Of course not. But one good turn deserves another. And our circumstances have changed. Surely you wouldn't shun the gratitude of a pauper who happened to have become a prince.
Oh, so you're a prince now, are you?
很固执的人。
Fine. But I'm selling it and taking what I'm owed, then you're getting the rest whether you like it or not. Where'd you even get this? A decent trader might nab 1,000 talents for a star ruby. A canny one, meanwhile, might claim it were nicked from the belt of Sid the Outlaw himself and ask twice as much.
一出个3000万。
Maybe I already have a buyer in mind. Might be you even know her. A fine continental maid whose beauty's only eclipsed by a guile in commerce. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Not at all. Just be sure to tell her that it's always a pleasure doing business.
可是虽然他打这个打什么昔日的大罪人送的，问题是要怎么证明？重点是这个啊，要怎么证明？
I hear you ended up delivering all 3 stones. Thanks to this lump. I sometimes wonder what I pay you for.
I still haven't been paid last month's wages.
Oh, so you remember what's owed to you then? Get your ass behind that disc of yours and don't get up before those ledgers are square.
Right away.
这猪鸟菜。
I've seen that before.
Yeah, yeah. Plenty of times. It was the only goblet Sid ever used, either out of habit, or because the filthy sod couldn't be bothered to find a clue.
不好意思啊，男生用的我不想用啊。
I knew so little about him.
Like most people.
Arthur and the Dame both seem to have fond memories of him.
I bet they do.
How long did you know Sid before he...
Before he died. 20 summers, give or take. Back in the day, I was a purser on a trade ship, which is where I met him. He bought passage to... I forget where. But having nothing better to do on the long nights, we sat up drinking Island rum till the morning bell dragged me back to my duties. Quit my post not long after that. On account of making a fine maiden's belly fat. But me and Sid stayed close, promising we'd one day sail the seas again.
哦，米德哦。
Before fate stepped in and said she was having none of it. The magic woke inside my son soon after his first name day, and there was no hiding his knack.
Couldn't you and your family have...
My family were the ones who summoned the constable, wanted the monster taken away. I couldn't turn my back on him.
对啊，自己儿子是禀赋者就唾弃耶。
Luckily, Sid was of the same mind as me. It was him who stood beside me when all I wanted was to tear the whole world down. Him who cried for me when I had no tears left of my own. Him who swore he'd do everything he could to stop it from happening again. And he was true to his word too. Left the Royal Army once and for all. His ranks, his ribbons, gone.
哦，所以沃鲁德有2个显化者，哇，这么强大。
All to right a wrong that no one else had the courage to face. I knew then I'd follow that man to the ends of the earth.
He
was always too clever for his own good, was Sid. Saw the world for what it really was, while the rest of us were content to go along with the lie we were shown. And it can't have been easy, bearing that burden alone.
等一下，20年前应该很年轻才对啊，怎么还是糟老头啊？怎么都一样年轻啊？一样的状态啊？20年前也是这样。
He never lost faith in what he believed was right. And that gave us faith in him. Faith he'd steer us true. So I swore to myself that I'd always be right behind him, ready to catch the stubborn sod
当年就这样子，
But I couldn't even do that.
所以说当年就直接在那边建一个基地。
Ignore me. Just the ramblings of a tired old man. Leave that lot. I'll tidy it up in a bit.
This is Sid's handwriting. Dear Otto.
I may be drunk, but I wanted you to know this place would be fucked without you. Love you, you grumpy old sod.
This note.
Hmm? What about it?
Sid was right. Without you, we'd all be lost.
”哭了，哭了，老泪纵横。
Bloody well said so then. Just once. Before he went.
哭了。
But then, why would he? Him or anyone? I'd only have told him to piss off.
等一下，我听到我妈声音。
You're wrong though. Both of you. It was never just me keeping the hideaway afloat. It was all of us. I just shoved people in the right direction. Barely seem to be able to do that anymore.
明天帮我擦。今天帮你擦。可以吗？来得及吗？稍等一下。你们快讲。
Would you rather go with the helm?
我背有没有帮我擦一下？
Well, maybe I've got a few
我
more.
先帮你边擦。
这个是什么时候买的？
然后
I'm
这
willing to hold you to that,
去
Otto.
大陆的时候，那个他公公说他擦这个很有用。
确定？
对呀、他擦过了，他觉得很有用，所以那你可以擦擦看啦。
好，我擦擦看。
对呀、
Wanted you to
而
have
且他说这个外面没得买，那个是医生开的药。
this will do me
之前
just
因为
fine.
你们说什么大陆那个给他爸开药都一堆副作用，没什么用，所以我有
那
点担
是
心。
吃的，才会有副作用。有的通常都不会有。
Thanks for the ray of
没有
sunshine.
啦。
I'll see if I can't pay you back.
某的是皮肤还好，
Already have.
嗯，哦，你帮我擦很多吗？
擦很多啊。
对啊，
所以要
帮我全身都，
擦
要帮我都痒痒。
对呀、可以用，这有用没用，我们擦看看才知道啊。
多吗？
就一个地方一个地方的啊。
一点一点。
嗯，比之前少多了，之前更多。干嘛？那好。
等一下，关门。
关门。
关门
哎呦，怎么这
关门
么多？
关门。
谁给你的啊？
是爸爸帮我打的。
真的。
哎，他今天不用上班啊？
你没有？
啊，他不用上课啊？
就是要送他去啊。
哦，你要送他去了，
因为
这么晚
昨天。太晚了，他昨天12点1点才睡觉，拿起来。
那就今天请假一天了。
没不肯。
Seems the hideaways.
所以你没有叫阿姑。
阿姑。
哎呦。
You put me in this situation, Clive.
怎么会这样？
Well, get me out of it.
就每天
I
出
need
去
a
玩
hand
啊
with a。recipe.
爸爸如果带他出去玩，那还黑吃。
I'm not much of a cook.
I'm all the cook will be needing. Thank you very much.
那边很热。
What I want from you is a little of your time,
一样
right?
跟
Oh,
我这边
and
一样热。
perhaps your sword.
你该没有比这边热吧？
Ivan
还
stew,
是要开灯？
right?
应该开灯吗？
Well, despite the look of the thing
I don't
and
know.
that awful stench, people wolf it down.
漂亮。
So I thought I'd try
过来
making one
来
of these supposed masterpieces myself. Had a peek at the book and gave it a go, but, well.
It wasn't as straightforward as you'd hoped. Yvonne had the same
因为
problem.
有些没有啊，我就会
This is
有
my
啊。
blooming kitchen, and I will not be outdone. So if you don't want to be seen as playing favourites,
电游
I
戏里
suggest
有
you
些
lend
人
me a
是干
hand.
性的，有些人
I've
皮肤
never
更
been one to
糟
play
了。
favorites, Molly.
干嘛？
And I would be only too happy to lend you a hand. So,
是夏天也是的，是不要吃太油腻，
Fried mortress of
尽
Skyworm.
量吃清淡一
That's
点
one
就
heck
比
of a
较
name,
不
innit?
腻。
可以帮我煮清淡
Recipe
一点
seemed
啊，
easy enough to an old hand like
要
myself.
不然你每次也
Thought I
每次
followed
都
it
煮
to a
一都是
Only,
炒的，
turns out Skyworm livers and Drake's
都一堆
meat
炒
are
的。
not what I
不要
thought.
吃的话，我煮妹妹的份给你吃，
Given the
因
rancid
为那
mess
个
they
没有
made.
我是要晚上带
once
去
of the
吃的。
recipes in the culinary
可以啊，
pilgrimage
我
date
再
back
给你
可以啊
centuries.
可以啊，你晚上
We
你
just
要
said
可
the
是我煮的
ingredients
都
even
是青
exist
菜
anymore.
啊
OK 啊
Wow.
之类的。
OK 啊
That's a question for a scholar.
一个一碗饭就好
还
了
没
啊，
吃
一碗饭
Perhaps you know of one?
因为他最近要减肥，
Kindly old fella who wants the shelves, maybe?
所以都会煮个清
Fine.
淡。
可以啊
I'll，go and speak to Harpocrates. Perhaps he'll know something.
好，
And if
可以
he
啊。
does, I'll see if I can find your ingredients for you.
You do that.
好
Lest we
，OK，好了。
forget,
哎，
we've
等一下，
got a reputation
等一
to
下，我
uphold.
突然发现，不洗碗，我这个新增的呀，之前没有。
那边我也会流汗啊，那个
对呀，现在又有。
因为我那他那个公司衣服外套衬衫那个外套很烂啊，
嗯，
所以他铺在我他那个会贴在我的脖子上啊。
反正你现在就是尽量吃清淡一点啊，那油腻的啦、辣的都不要吃。
可以啊，你要那个啊
还，有你那个药要认真吃。
那个吃的是不会太累啊，可是湿疹还是有啊，湿疹没
当然会有，
湿疹没效果。
湿疹那你要另外跟他讲。
有这个我就有讲过，谁没讲过啊？我怎么可能没讲过？
但是这种东西本来就是要调理，没有那么快。
还有，然后已经一段时间了，那睡眠都改善，哪可能这个还没改善？
I've come to pick your brain if you don't mind. It's about the
再
book.
看这个我可能要用擦，我觉得
皮肤的东西哈，
Alicia,
你
a
吃的
culinary
要注
pilgrimage,
意。
a classic. One of my
你要
favorites.
不要
in
煮
fact.
也可以，就煮那
来
清淡
来，
一点。
这边两
Wonderful
个，
job with the
知道啊，
Johnson
前面有
store.
啊。
I
我
do
举刚
hope
会
we shall
下
be
面
able to sample more such marvels in due course.
That's actually why I'm here. I don't suppose you know where I might find Skyworm livers and Drake's mint.
Ah, so the fabled Sandbrequois delicacy is next on the menu. Delightful. The descriptions of fried mortress never fail to make my mouth
擦
water.
药哈，等一下。
既然门上锁好，刚才想说打电话给你说，哎呦，你帮我买，没接。
Their ground livers being the paste from which the mortress is made.
Dragon livers.
哦，那边都有。
How very Sandbrequois.
已经好几个月没
One
擦
would
了
have。thought the
因为我
disciples of
给我爸之后
Bahamut，would have a
我就想
touch
说
more reverence for their icon's brethren, but
你干嘛
apparently
给
not.
他？他都没你那么严
The
重。
specific dragon the recipe
自己
demands
比
is
较
the
严重不
blueback
擦。
wyvern, said to be the very color of the sea
我
beside
擦那
which it
个，
resides.
So we know where to look for
发
our
现越
liver.
来越痒。
嗯，
What about the Drake's
这
mint?
要擦啊。
Saint's bonnet in
这
contemporary
种东
parlance,
西都会一直
a
复
herb which
发，
grows along the North
很难
Beach
好，
coast.
很
I
难
gather
完全
one
好。
can locate the cheerful yellow flowers
对，
by
季
their
节
heady
一
scent
到就
alone.
复发
So
啊。
I'm sure
然后
you'll
妈
have
妈
no
有一
trouble
个
finding
地方
them.
也是，
I
平
may
常
add
没事啊，
that
到
people once
夏天又
believed
开始
game
复
was
发，
best
就会
served
痒，
with the flora that sustained it in life.
到冬天又
In
没
which
事，
regard,
就
fried
这样。
mortress of Skyworm is undoubtedly a typical dish of the time.
Meaning
Hey,
that
hey,
if I
I
find
think
one,
down.
I find the other. To Northreach then.
Best of luck, Clive.
但是穿反了，
And
没有啊，
标签在那
save
边
me。a bite
这边
once
在
the
哪边？
dish is complete.
没有，他们有的就故意这样子干嘛？他们那个，
你擦了吗？
好了好了，
我是下期一定要用我擦，因为在胯下地方。
盖子见。
这不是给你吗？啊，这，好了，可以，来吧。
走了，
那可以。
好了，妈妈用东西给你吃。对，走。
门关起，帮我把灯关掉啊。来，稍等一下啊。我先插个页，刚刚剧情都没看呢，等一下看一下。那刚刚这个人刚刚说什么？去北境。哦，这里哦。 好，我们先过去，让我擦个药。我擦不行啊。那个每天回来都要擦，受不了了。那个痒到受不了了，没办法，太会流汗，皮肤感染。好了，稍等一下，我把它盖起来。哦，可以了，把它穿起来。哎呀，好，各位，我们来继续啦。咦，距离就这么远。
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
You needn't fret.
探求世间美食，所以他是要叫我们打什么？打采集圣帽草跟北京打倒蓝背双足飞龙。我还真的没看过，对不对？
To the meadows then.
Faster， 巴斯特。
Thanks, gal.
我刚刚什么？哇！凤凰招式吗？是那只吗？前面那只？哦，这。
That's the wyvern's liver. Now I just need to find the herbs. Bright yellow with a heady scent. I think that's everything Molly needs to resurrect her recipe. Better head back.
Seems the hideaway's lost its appetite.
So, did you have that word with Tomes then?
I did, and he was as helpful as ever. He told me exactly where to look, in fact.
哇！我擦了之后，我现在全身凉凉的。
And what precisely will I be cooking up? or is it better not to know?
到底是什么？
Blueback wyvern liver, and a herb known as Saint's Bonnet.
Ah, wyvern livers, was it? Well, at least it weren't actual worms, I suppose. Now then, you stay right where you are. I've got some cooking to do. Let's hope these grand old chefs of yore knew what they were on about.
确定可以吃吗？卖相好像不错哦。
Fried mortress of skyworm. Ivan's offered to make sure it's fit for consumption. Well, I say offered. He as good as begged.
And rightly so. Is there any higher honor than partaking in a slice of culinary history?
要吐了！GG 了，GG 了。
So, not fit for consumption then.
What witchery is this? The crackle of the crust gives way to an almost violent richness. Yet,
到底是好吃还是难吃啊？啊，你好吃怎么好像受重伤感觉？真的好吃吗？
it is a tour de force, a force of nature even, a maelstrom of flavor and sensation, a graceful beast emerging from centuries of slumber.
I think he likes it.
真的吗？你刚刚不是在觉得很恶心吗？
You might be right. It was decent then, I take it.
Decent? It's remarkable. And I defy any man to say a word to the contrary. Sid, might I suggest that you command a party of your finest men and women to procure a dozen blueback wyverns forthwith?
I'll give it some thought.
Is a storm coming, Sid?
Sid, perhaps you can help me solve a mystery.
I can certainly try. Who's gone missing this time?
It's not who, but what. Mid-scales, the ones she made for her workshop.
天平。
I borrowed them to teach the little ones about weight, and shortly after the lesson, well, they vanished. My first thought was that they'd taken them off somewhere to play, but when I asked, they swore they had nothing to do with their having disappeared. Which almost certainly means they had everything to do with it.
Perhaps a visit from Sid will jog their memories.
I think it just might. Thank you. I don't like to imagine that my pupils would lie to me. But if they have, I'll have no choice but to discipline them accordingly. They were in the atrium when I last saw them, as always.
"在中庭。这么远啊！
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
有东西可以拿哎。
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Is everything we've received and everything promised?
琥珀。
You earned this. Best of luck out there, Sid.
What do you reckon we should do?
天平，找到了。不会被他们弄坏了吧？
Sid! Out at your studies, I see. And what is that? It's not a set of scales, is it?
No,
Of course it isn't.
Well, not anymore, it's not. Oh,
And just how long hasn't it been one?
we're sorry.
But we didn't break them. We dismembered them.
Just like Miss Mididol showed us.
Miss Mididol? Why would she have you dismembering her creations?
Because that's the only way to become a ninja-near.
Miss Mididol said, the best way to see how something worked is to take it apart and put it back together again.
Well then, your work is already half done. Carry on.
太繁琐了，没有记住，没有记
Taking
得
apart。was easy enough, but it's the putting back we can't work out.
Speak for yourself. The heavy thing goes at the bottom. Then,
不会吧？要我帮组装哦？
You three need to learn to take responsibility for your actions. So let's have a look at these parts with fresh eyes, shall we?
小游戏吗？
All right. Everything here was once part of Miss Mididol's scales. Every piece has its own role to play, and each is just as important as the others. If even one of them is missing, the scales won't work. So let's think about what those roles might be. You already know one of the pieces, the body. Its role is to support everything else. But what of the others? This is called the arm. Why do you suppose that is? It doesn't look much like an arm.
you're right. It looks more like a wing. Like a chocobo wing.
小鹿行有翅膀。
Before, haven't you, Sid? Will you teach me to ride one day?
I'll think about it. Now, what do arms do?
Hold things. So wait, maybe this arm holds things too.
Good thinking. You're on the right track.
等一下，妈。啊？为什么问？你要从这个事情？为什么你会？为什么是？哦，你把它换下来，结果不。那可以啊，你不用，你买你的就好，因为我怕我可能撑不到那时候。我现在好，因为我现在很困，玩一下现在可能要死。好了，不好意思啊，刚刚我妹找我啊。
These round parts are called the pans. You all know what a pan is, don't you?
I do. Molly uses them in the kitchens to fry bangers. But these aren't for frying bangers, you idiot. They're for weighing stuff. But what if I wanted to weigh Goots? I don't think he'd fit in.
不可能啊！
Probably not.
What are the chains for? Holding the pans up?
Well spotted. Which means something must hold the chains up in turn.
还好是引导他们去做，不是叫我自己组装。
This tiny piece is what's called a cogwheel, or gear. Have you ever seen one before?
I have. Miss Mididol's dungeon is full of them. Most are on the floor.
She puts them in all her inventions. They spin round and round and round and round and...
That's right. They're very useful when you want to make things move. Do you remember if there was anything on the scales that moved?
I remember the arm moved when I tried weighing an apple. And then somebody ate it.
中间啊。
My fault. You shouldn't have tried weighing it before lunch.
We know what part's supposed to move and how it's supposed to move. So, let's put the pieces together first, see what doesn't move, and then stick the cogwheel to that.
Not a bad idea. You see? It's not so difficult. So, now that we've taken stock of the parts and learned what they do, what do you think?
I think we've got it.
Then here's what we'll do. You tell me what goes where, and I'll put the scales together.
Well, obviously you need to start with the body. All the other pieces fit onto it, don't they?
and the arms go on the body, just like real arms. Or wings, if you're a chocobo. And then the arms hold the pans by the chains.
Very good. Let's see if that works. There. All finished.
Yes! We did it!
Well, with Sid's help.
Oh, I just put the pieces together. It was you 3 engineers who showed me how.
That's right. We're Miss Mididol's hairs.
Her hairs?
Hairs for the future. She's showing us her secrets now, so we can help out the hideaway when we're older.
啊，他人呢？人跑掉啦。
Are you almost ready?
With a little more help from Miss Mididol and Miss Shirley, I'd say it won't be long at all.
Hear that? It won't be long.
Until then, though, do try to be honest with Miss Shirley.
Hey, look! We never used the cogwheel.
You don't think Sid forgot about it, do you?
哎，结果我们没有装啊，那这个不就不能用？傻眼。
Is a storm coming, Sid? Will there be...
Well, did you solve the mystery?
It was as you thought. The children had the scales, or the parts of them at least. They dismantled them to see how they worked.
Oh, no, Mid will have my head.
Thankfully she won't. This might even have been her idea. Although I was the one who ended up teaching the lesson.
I'm so sorry, Sid. I know how busy you are. I shall see that the children are properly punished.
Please, there's no need. Mid seems to have taken the 3 of them under her wing. She's even calling them her heirs. She'd have them follow in her footsteps. And her father's.
I see. Sid, do you know why Mid has been spending so much time at the hideaway of late?
She told me it was because her studies have been interrupted by events in Canva. Is that not true?
No, it isn't. The university offered her a commission. In exchange for full tuition, room and board, they asked her to oversee the design of several new war engines. To anyone else it would be an opportunity, but to Mid, who lost both her parents to war, it was a bitter pill. One she was none too keen to swallow. But that should come as no surprise. She's only ever cared about bringing people hope. The very last thing war can be said to do.
Which explains her heirs. She's working to give them a better life. And so should I. What's the odd engineering lesson?
Ah, you've given them far more than that. And I'm sure they're very grateful.
很多任务啊！